So Yashar Ali wrote on his Substack with exclusive video footage from his own fucking Ring camera, which I suspect he got from a friend of the family or, the wife herself. Steven Crowder was emotionally abusing his wife. And in a statement, Hillary Crowder's family says she hid his emotionally abusive behavior for years. To a surprise to pretty much no one. Trigger warning, you got some domestic abuse here, some emotional abuse here. Here is the 3 minute and 27 second video from Steven Crowder's very own ring inside of his own house, which, I suspect you can only have access to if you are talking to someone with knowledge, with personal knowledge over the situation.
I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
There is no groceries. I do have
steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's an unreasonable request, but I'll go do it. How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect the man? Yes. How do you man? How do you man? You see the mother comes back.
The other man you see, the mother comes back? Wait, what?
No.
Is she pregnant? No, man. She's just like, she has like a unique fat storage capability. The fuck do you mean? Of course she's pregnant. She's like extremely pregnant, dog. She's pregnant with fucking twins at that point, and she's like at 8 months. First time seeing a human woman in the real world. What's going on? Is this like a mecha anime? What's happening here? Is she like a mecha anime? Is she a mecha? A flesh mecha maybe? I don't get it. What's happening? She must have had a big meal, I think. That's what I look like when I have a big meal. What is that? I've only watched Joe Rogan, so the only time I've seen a bubble gut like that is due to steroid usage. Is she taking HGH? What's happening?
How did a man make it? No, you're not taking the car.
Steven,
you're not taking the car.
Steven,
you are not.
Then I will ask them to pick me up.
This is fucking awful. But, the least surprising thing I've seen today, what is actually surprising is that Steven Crowder has one car only. What the fuck? Bitch, buy a second car. You have a wife who's pregnant. How do you not have... Why do you have control over the family car? All you're doing is smoking a fucking cigar in your backyard. That's so weird.
Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not about Steven.
Get an Uber.
Okay, Steven, I can't.
Feeling some constraints?
Steven.
Like, I can't
Steven.
go... listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're going to take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either.
Steven.
Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back when I'm back?
Steven.
And making it work. The only way out of this is discipline and respect.
What
the
the
only way out of
fuck?
it, or we're at an impasse.
We are at an impasse.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline and respect.
Steven.
Yeah. There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Steven.
Hillary,
Steven?
you give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Steven, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Steven, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it. Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit, okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it, you go, no. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right in that. Become someone, listen to me, day in and day out, worthy of a wife, worthy. No.
Remember when he said there was no abuse on either side? No, he actually specified there was no physical abuse, which was an odd thing to say at the time. But I'm pretty sure he specified there was no physical abuse because I think he like literally knew that this was part of the reason why they were getting divorced. No, he said both. Oh, I thought he specified there was no physical abuse. Dude, he's literally doing a change my mind on his fucking wife. Like, what the hell? On his literal barefoot and pregnant fucking wife that he has known for many, many years at this point. Like, he was abstinence only, according to him, until this marriage. And he's literally doing a change my mind on her. What the fuck? While smoking a cigar and wiggling his toes in his backyard. I mean, yeah, maybe he did say there was no mental abuse. I don't know, or emotional abuse.
Out of the wife. I didn't say the wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to engage anymore. I'm going to go. I'll text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not trying to.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything.
What do you mean put on some gloves? What is he trying to fucking box her? Like, what the fuck's happening, dude? This is so fucking crazy.
You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to you. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm gonna just
walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication the dogs take? No, you take that in.
As the Crowder's head inside, Stephen gets angrier and angrier and by his own admission screams, "I will fuck you up," at his pregnant wife Hillary, who then flees their home. We didn't see that part. I don't know why they just like put that in there, but not the rest of it. Conservative media host and commentator Stephen Crowder can be seen on a Ring camera video berating his wife Hillary, who was at the time nearly 8 months pregnant, and demanding that she handle medicine for his dogs that she was concerned was toxic to pregnant women. In the video, oh my God, that's why she was saying put on some gloves and get the fucking medication for my dogs. In the video, he snaps at her to put on her gloves to give his dogs medicine, walk the dogs, and otherwise perform wifely duties as she is clearly emotionally distressed. Towards the end of the exchange, Hillary Crowder says to her husband, "Your abuse is sick." He snaps at her saying, "Watch it, fucking watch it." Moments later off camera, Stephen, by his admission, would lose control and scream at his pregnant wife in a threatening tone, "I will fuck you up," which led to his wife to flee their home. In a statement sent to me by Hillary Crowder's family, they say that she spent years hiding her husband's mental and emotional abuse from her family, that he lied about the circumstances around their divorce, and he wasn't present for the birth of their children. Documentary evidence I reviewed while reporting the story backs up their assertions. The statement in its entirety is printed later on in the story. The Ring camera footage documenting the moments leading up to the moment when Stephen said, "I will fuck you up," something that was at the pinnacle of their aggressiveness in the marriage, but was also part of a pattern of emotional abuse, is posted full at the top of this post and detailed later on. No, we don't see that in the video. I don't know why he says that. The Crowders were married in 2012 after dating for 2 years and being engaged for less than a year. Hillary Crowder filed for divorce in December 2021 after she learned that her husband had hired a divorce attorney a month earlier. Hillary Crowder welcomed twins via a C-section, in August 2021. Despite her best efforts, her husband was absent when the twins were born. Instead, he met their newborn twins later that day at the hospital. Oh, he confirmed through court documents that he admitted that he did this. Oh, yeah, Felix's take was pretty funny. Lol. Stephen Crowder got elective surgery to overshadow the birth of his twins because he couldn't stand them having the attention father of the century. Insisting that his wife take an Uber to get groceries because he might go to the gym was next level. How are you a suburban millionaire with one car and that can only work out at Planet Fitness. It blows my fucking mind. But it's also, honestly, I mean, dude, I get why these motherfuckers are constantly chirping about like traditional marriage shit. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I get it. This makes so much fucking sense. People are saying one car is like a good way to control their partner. That could possibly be a reason, because like it is such a weird thing that a dude with like a $50 million contract, the dude that turned away $50 million has enough money to buy 2 cars. Okay. I'm sorry. There is no planet in which a dude who turned down $50 million cannot buy a second fucking car. Like, no shot. There's got to be a separate reason for that. I think it's because he very clearly did not want her to have any kind of autonomy, independence whatsoever. That POS is one of the hundreds of thousands of men who thinks this kind of shit is fucking okay. Yeah, the night before she gave birth, Stephen and Hillary exchanged a series of text messages about separating. Oh my God, before she gave fucking birth. Hillary sent her husband one final text message. Stephen, I'm afraid of you and your rage. You are scary. You scare me. I want to heal things, but you have to take responsibility. Stop blaming others. Stop feeling pain and sadness only for yourself. In the past 2 weeks, rumors of their divorce, which the press had not discovered for over a year, began to spread on Twitter. On Tuesday, Crowder spoke on it. He said, I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck. Does anyone have that video? Let's go back to the fucking video, and we'll assess the Steven Crowder divorce video one more time. And then he had a elective surgery, but like, to be fair, it was it's on your channel. No, but I want to watch the full video, like the uninterrupted video. I don't care about like my commentary over it. This is 56 seconds. I don't want this. I want the full one.
Want this?
Stop. Here, this is the one.
I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted. It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life, what I consider to be my deepest personal failure. And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible. And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter. In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period. So for well over a year, in the best interest as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys, what have you, legal jargon. And all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless, completely without fault, and so we decided to resolve these issues privately, as it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so. Now, the other issue is, and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long, many other people knew about this behind the scenes. Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage, knew of this. They also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private. So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion.
Not gonna lie, I feel like, first of all, the whole safety of the children thing is kind of weird to bring up. Like, I mean, not safety, sorry. The children are blameless. Like, nobody thinks your children are at blame, dog. What the fuck? And secondly, you know, it doesn't feel like you know, this was a no-fault divorce.
For likely far too long, leverage knew of this. They also...
And also, it does seem like he left out the emotional abuse part. Oh my God. Speaking of emotional abuse, this is what Kaya goes through every fucking day. Emotional abuse when I give her belly rubs, but not enough leeway to just like walk around the house and piss and shit everywhere. Fighting. Nope.
also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private. So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
It seems interesting that he also left out the part that he was the one who originally wanted to get the fucking divorce, by the way.
Stephen has a lot going on, I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, some things should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
Well, my children have a right to privacy. Now, some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So to those
it just doesn't seem like he gives a fuck about his kids, man. I feel like he's just using his kids as a simple means to like make himself come across more sympathetic. Like, I think he's just a gigantic fucking narcissist. Like, a person who cares about the safety of his children. Like, here, I'll give it to you like this, okay? I'll give it to you like this. I have a fucking puppy, okay? And I wash my hands like 8 fucking times after using minoxidil and have been considering just getting off of it for the duration while she's like a baby, because I'm terrified that like I'm accidentally going to give her a treat while I have a little bit of that Rogaine in my hands when I put in my fucking hair, because like that's the care and consideration that I have for a puppy, not my actual fucking child. You know what I mean? The idea that you as a, soon-to-be father don't give a shit about your pregnant wife, and you're like, yeah, use this medication that might be toxic to pregnant women, or also put the gloves on and use it, and put the gloves on and give it to the fucking dogs, or even the idea that you're like, you can't even drive her there, or the idea that you can't even be there for the wedding, be there for the pregnancy, sorry, the birth of your children, the idea that like you're smoking a fucking cigar even while talking to your pregnant wife, like those things are going to actually hurt your children. Getting a divorce is going to hurt your children too. So, you know, you could have maybe tried and worked it out. You were such a trad guy, you know? Big trad guy. The discipline stuff was crazy.
Styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes, which will be made alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues. And it also, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about this and in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own in that I picked wrong, and that's certainly not the fault of my children. And I will say that what's in the best interest of my children is not internet drama, speculation, certainly not blatant or veiled shakedowns or dragging their father or mother, and I can't be clear on that enough, or their mother through the mud. And to anyone who tries it, I'm no longer going to pacify, capitulate, or sidestep because I love them a whole lot more than I love you. And I will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect my children. Discussing the divorce any further on social media or on this show or in any public space is not what's best for them. I'll be handling this through the proper legal avenues and channels available as a matter of record in which I have more than full confidence. So I'd ask that you understand the need for and respect our privacy in what is obviously a pretty tough time. And I hope that none of this has to go any further than that.
Okay. Okay. So he blames his own kids, right? No, but oh my Jesus. Oh my Lord. That was ay. I do need God, I need help. I do need help. Cosmetic piss pad. I think she's just like this was never really that big of a problem with like a male dog, but I think female dogs, due to like the stuff they're working with, their private parts being different, have a harder time aiming. Okay. Anyway, so that's where we're at with Steven Crowder's situation. Crowder bemoaned Texas's no-fault divorce law several times in his statement. No-fault divorce law allows either party in a marriage to get divorced without requiring a cause like abuse or infidelity, which is, of course, an insane thing to fucking get upset about. Like, why the fuck couldn't you get a divorce with no fault? Like, what do you mean? What Crowder didn't mention that that in his very private wife, who hardly appears at public events and is rarely photographed, had made a request via her attorneys that her husband not discuss a divorce at all. Steven Crowder dismissed that request and spoke about the divorce and their marriage for about 5 minutes in a clip that went viral. In a statement sent to me via email, Hillary Crowder's family said, Hillary is currently living alone in Dallas, apart from her family and support system in Michigan, and is focused on taking care of her young children. She's not prepared at this time to speak about her divorce, becoming public, or the misleading statements made by Steven about their relationship. The truth is that Hillary spent years hiding Steven's mentally and emotionally abusive behavior from her friends and family while she attempted to save their marriage. She was the one who was asking to work on their relationship to keep the marriage intact for their unborn children. In June 2021, Steven left their home to pursue elective surgery. Hillary urged him to get the help he needed to address his abuse with the hope that their marriage could be saved and they could peacefully live together as a family. Instead, Steven refused to do so and chose not to be with his wife during their birth of their twin children. After the birth, Steven... Uh-oh. Is she going to poop? No. She just plopped right on the pee-pee. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's hard out here for dads, okay? I'm just gonna say it. Hard being a dad to a wonderful, a beautiful fur child. I'm so tired. And kind of sick. Ay. Okay. Steven bought a townhouse after their... Oh my God, what the fuck? Instead, Steven refused to do so and chose not to be with his wife during the birth of their twin children. After the birth, Steven bought a townhouse and left her home permanently. Hillary was unaware that Steven had hired a divorce attorney and asked his assistant to cut Hillary off financially. There is significant documentation substantiating these facts. We hope that Steven will cease speaking publicly about these matters in an untruthful manner. We also look forward to there being full transparency in the legal process so there is fairness and accountability for the actions that caused the divorce and to ensure the outcome is what is in the best interest of the young children. And they just like leaked this one fucking Ring camera video, which basically solidifies everything that they're saying here. And I think this is more of a threat. Like, they basically leaked this to be like, listen, you're crazy if you think that you can get away with saying whatever the fuck you want about this divorce. It's in your best interest not to speak on this divorce any further, because when you do speak out on this, like, we're going to come quick with the facts. And when we do, they are certainly not going to be on your side, considering that Steven Crowder insisted Hillary not take the one car to run errands as it would keep him housebound, and that she, at nearly 8 months pregnant, should take an Uber. His response in that situation should be, oh, I will go get it. You know what I mean? My love, I will go get the groceries. You're fucking 8 months pregnant, you know? Or if you want some space, like, I'll give you some space and I'll go get the groceries. Or, of course, take the car and get all the space you need if you would like some, some breathing time. Holy shit. That is what you are supposed to do if you're a fucking man, okay? If you're the man of the household. What kind of fucking dumb shit is this? Insane to me. Absolutely fucking insane. He also berates her for not doing her wifely duties like grocery shopping in a way that pleases him. Tensions rise. Steven Crowder gets more agitated. Feeling some constraint, Crowder says to his wife. Crowder gets irritated and says that if Hillary, his very pregnant wife, takes the car, he can't go to the gym, see his parents, or see his friends. Incredible. What a fucking man baby, dude. That's what these conservative motherfuckers want. They want to be like, they want to be man babies. They want to be babied. They want a mommy to give them the binky. Okay? That's why they're like constantly promoting this tradcath lifestyle where it's like, come on, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. Come on, take care of me. Take care of me. Do your wifely fucking duties. So in that way, he is genuine with his commentary. I just didn't really realize that, like, that behavior could translate to someone who you're so closely associated with. You know what I mean? Who you, at a certain point, claimed you loved. I don't know, man. It's fucking wild. I mean, of course, yeah, we go back to this funny ass moment where it's like the alt-right women are upset that the alt-right men are treating them terribly. Wow, a shocker. Hillary Crowder, in an attempt to leave, tells her husband that she loves him and that she's committed to the marriage. Stephen Crowder gets angry and suggests that if she's committed to their marriage, she should put on the glove to give his dogs the medicine that his wife was concerned was toxic for pregnant women and walk their dogs. As they headed inside, Crowder got angrier and angrier and was, by his admission via audio I reviewed, yelling angrily, saying, "I will fuck you up." According to both Crowder's and Stephen immediately pulled back and realized what he said. But by that point, Hillary was frightened and left the house. In the review of the audio, video, and text messages, Stephen Crowder repeatedly admits that he has a volcanic temper and has been working through therapy to control it. However, at one point in one of the audio files I reviewed, Stephen Crowder gets upset because he's frustrated that he's not getting enough credit for not having lost his temper for months, but adds that he can't promise he won't lose it again in the future. Two people who worked for Stephen in the past say that he has created a cult-like atmosphere in the workplace and is intolerant of dissent. You're either fully for him or you're his enemy, one former employee told me in a conversation on Wednesday. In an interview on Michael Malice's podcast, Dave Landau, who used to be a co-host on Louder with Crowder, said that Crowder had surrounded himself with yes men. Landau added about Crowder, he's become the bully and he doesn't realize it. Crowder's career in mainstream conservative media started in Fox News in 2009, where he appeared as a guest on programs and wrote for Fox News' website until he was let go from the network in October 2013. The show Louder with Crowder aired on CRTV and later The Blaze from 2017 through the end of his contract in 2022. Crowder's media footprint is substantial. On YouTube, his two channels have 7 million subscribers and have garnered 2.2 billion views. In addition, he has millions of followers across Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Yeah, a lot of that stuff doesn't mean anything. On March 2023, Rumble announced that at least 58,000 people had subscribed to Crowder's channel, paying $89 a year each. That would mean over 5.1 million for his particular revenue stream, and the numbers that Rumble shared were in the pre-launch phase. The numbers have likely grown since. Damn, Crowder's a fucking 89K subscription, Andy. I'm out here only fucking scrounging at like barely 66K subscribers. This motherfucker's got, or not 89, wait, 58? Oh no, never mind. He has 58,000 subscribers. Never mind, I have more subscribers than he does. Broke boy. It's this success and an ideological alliance that led the Daily Wire, the conservative media company co-founded by Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring, to make an offer to Crowder in October 2022 to bring his show to their company. I think Crowder probably didn't want the 50 mil because he knew it was like, going to get taken from him in the divorce, potentially. Daily Wire responded they couldn't be expected to compensate him at the initial contract rate if they were losing revenue streams. We know all that stuff. In reviewing documentary evidence related to their marriage, Stephen Crowder appears obsessed with the idea that his wife is only interested in him for money. Hillary Crowder started dating him well before he became famous and wealthy. He was making less than $100K a year when they got married. In April 22nd, 2022, Crowder was talking on a show about his distaste for no-fault divorce. He said, "If you're a woman that comes from meager means and you want to get wealthy, you've never worked, you didn't get a degree, you have no skill set, but you're good looking, your best path to victory is simply to marry a man, leave him, and take half." Wonderful stuff from Stephen Crowder talking about the mother of his children. By the time Crowder said this, it had been 5 months since he retained a divorce attorney, but his audience was unaware of this move. 6 months later, he would walk away from a $50 million opening offer from the Daily Wire. 4 months after the news of the Daily Wire offer became public in January 2023, his public comments about the proposal led to the destruction of his relationship with Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring. The public would learn that a dispute with the Daily Wire was the least of Steven Crowder's problems. That's it. Sick man, dude. Fucked up in the head. My wife is currently 8 months pregnant. Talking to her like this at any point, but especially when she's pregnant, makes me so fucking angry. Yeah. Doesn't this mean that he was kind of right when he said the only way a man can operate is with a submissive wife? His life is in shambles right now. Brother, this is the reason why women are constantly talking about how liberating divorce can be. And this is precisely the reason why men are very much against that kind of bodily autonomy, whether it be abortion, whether it be birth control, and other contraceptive methods, and women being in the workplace. Okay? Remember that joke on Twitter where it was like, and then people wonder why people don't get poisoned anymore? Because back in the day, that's how you could get out of a fucking marriage that was like destroying you and destroying your fucking life. I soothed both twins to sleep all by myself by rocking one and whisker rubbing and kissing the other. As fathers are largely useless through the first few months of life, this felt like a tremendous accomplishment. My wife does this 10 times a day. Yeah. Well, we know what his thoughts are. He literally said like there's a 2 weeks paternal leave at the Steven Crowder workplace, but he will literally say that it's like irrelevant and you shouldn't even do it because fathers are fucking useless. Here he is talking about paternal leave. Or no, not this one. Men and women are very different. Mothers and fathers are very different. They are not interchangeable. My haphazard attempts at keeping boy-girl twins alive in comparison to my very adept wife makes this incredibly clear. I'm effectively furniture with arms. Say you're not a good parent without saying it. Holy fuck, this age well, says Ruby Tuesday. True.